Good morning. It is an honor to be with you all today, and I am extremely appreciative of my colleagues, Lindsay, Ron, and Gia, for helping to set the atmosphere for us this morning and for the remainder of this week. I'll start off by saying that although I've been strategically perched from a physical position of privilege, it's a lot of P's there, right? I am not here to pontificate to us all about how, that's another P, about how important deeper learning is, or how the deeper learning competencies are key ingredients to a secret sauce that lead to incredible student outcomes. I am not here to talk about that, although I believe all that to be very true. I'm also not here to talk about how dope and amazing my colleagues and organization at Big Picture Learning are, although they're all here and they're all pretty dope and amazing. I'm also not going to talk about the phenomenal Deeper Learning Equity Fellowship, an initiative in partnership with our friends from the International Network of Public Schools that are supporting some amazing, diverse leaders from across this country that are doing incredible work to ensure that all young people, especially those who are furthest from opportunity, have access to deeper learning and to spaces like these. They are here, and they're pretty dope too. I am actually here to talk about what I believe is an absolute fundamental first step that is necessary before we can even talk about getting to deeper learning. And that is, we must know our students' stories and believe in their greatness. Speaking of greatness, 50 years ago, the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous Drum Major Instinct sermon at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, to a packed congregation, where he offered a unique definition of what greatness is. And let's hear it from Dr. King himself.
If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. And this morning, the thing that I like about it, by giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great. Because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know about Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know Einstein's theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics in physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace. Soul generated by love. And you can be that servant.
Everyone can be great because everyone can serve. And all you need is a heart full of grace. And let's talk about a soul generated by love. I'd like to introduce you all to my 13-year-old daughter, Isabella. Big shout out to all the parents in the house with middle school kids. Struggle is real. So Isabella has become increasingly more frustrated with her father's travel schedule. And in one of my few moments of parental brilliance, I started engaging with her some time ago before I traveled. Just letting her know what it was I was going to be talking about, what it is that I'll be doing, and asking for her feedback. So prior to, even before I got a chance to share with her what I was hoping to talk about today, she stopped me in my tracks and said, "Dad, ain't nobody got time for that. Stick to the stories. People like to hear stories." So I'd love to share with you all a true story, if I may, this morning. A little girl named Anna is born on a beautiful Caribbean island to a 16-year-old unwed mother named Miss Brown. Miss Brown has been orphaned since the age of 10 and living on her own since she was 14. Miss Brown had no living relatives, no siblings. Miss Brown and Anna found themselves living with a variety of different friends and acquaintances, renting out rooms in some of the most impoverished areas of the island. Anna grew up under these conditions until about the age of 12, when she then had to drop out of school to help Miss Brown with their fledgling produce business that helped maintain their now one-bedroom apartment and put food on the table. Now, Miss Brown absolutely knew the importance of an education, but she knew that she needed Anna's help, and without it, they could find themselves homeless and without any means. Fast forward 4 years, and Anna grows into a tall, statuesque, beautiful, virtuous young woman. A lot of the men in the town that Anna lived in had their eyes set on her because she looked so much older than she actually was. Anna remained polite, courteous, but never entertained any of their advances, especially because she knew that Miss Brown was nice with her hands, and everyone in the town knew that she was one tough lady. Fast forward 10 months, and Anna gives birth to a little girl named Griselda, which is Old German for Christian battle. Miss Brown is absolutely beside herself. She does not approve of this path that Anna is on. And oftentimes it showed in the way Miss Brown treated Anna in public. Anna grew tired of this, decided that she and her daughter Griselda needed to move. They went to the capital city on the island, and Anna began working in housekeeping at a local hotel. After working at the hotel for 6 years, Anna has an opportunity to come to the United States to work at a hotel. But sadly, she needs to leave Griselda behind with Miss Brown. Reluctantly, she does so. She arrives in New York City and quickly meets a charming man that's from her home island. He befriends her. He's extremely generous, but he's aggressive. And they date for a while, and he becomes physically abusive. To shelter herself from her abusive relationship, Anna immerses herself in a world of books at her local library in Brooklyn. And she quickly begins to catch the attention of those in upper management because Anna is aware of current events, she's articulate, and the sister is just impressive. She develops the courage and decides it is time for her to leave her abusive partner at this point of 3 years. She moves out, despite the threats, and is on her own. A few months later, Miss Brown and Griselda join Anna in New York. Griselda starts public school. Miss Brown starts working at the same hotel as Anna, and things are looking amazing. Later that year, on Christmas Eve, Anna's abusive ex-partner shows up, interrupting their holiday dinner, brandishing a .25 caliber handgun. After dispute, he proceeds to shoot Anna twice. And although Anna survives, she loses sight in one eye, hearing in one ear, and is permanently disfigured. And due to the cocktail of medications that she's forced to take, she develops kidney issues, lung complications, and heart problems. 18 months after recuperating, she is hired as a personal housekeeper for one of the hotel owners. She is absolutely convinced that no one will ever want her. No man will ever want to be with her. Enter Victoriano, a gentleman, un caballero. He meets Anna, sees her beauty, her intellect, her heart. Homeboy falls immediately in love. They date, they marry, they work through 2 miscarriages, and eventually have a baby boy. They name him Carlos, for strength. They remain happily married to this day, and just celebrated 48 years together this past November. I am the son of Ana and Victoriano Moreno. I am the grandson of Miss Isabel Brown. And I am the younger brother of Griselda. And although I have not lived these powerful life events personally, they are totally a part of who I am. And they serve as a constant reminder to me that every day is a gift. And we have to absolutely live our lives courageously, fighting for what it is that we believe in. It is a reminder that our life events shape who we are. Honoring and valuing who our students are is a first step in building community with and for them. And before we can start talking about getting to deeper learning, we have to know our students' stories. And to create the conditions where we can receive and hear those stories and welcome them, we have to be, as teachers, leaders, and adults in this space, we have to be brave enough to share our own selves, our own histories, our own stories. And lastly, we know that vulnerability is a part of good pedagogy. We should not forget that. And as teachers and educators, and when I say teachers, in the original definition of the word, which is to lead forth and raise up, we have to absolutely believe in the greatness of all of our students, regardless of where they come from, regardless of what they've done, and regardless of their stories. Our students' demographies do not equal their destiny. So this is who we attempt to be day in and day out at Big Picture Learning, and this is who we know we can be as a deeper learning community. So as we engage with each other over the next couple of days, let's continue to do so with purpose and grace, not transactional, y'all. Purpose and grace, engaging with one another, because ultimately it'll be our students that'll benefit. I appreciate y'all letting me share. Wakanda forever.